Jump scares have become a bit of a trope in the last few years of horror games, and besides rip-off Chuck E. Cheese and scary ghost hunting, jump scares have fallen into a pit of mediocrity and just repetitiveness. And while jump scares have been ruined as of late and have lost their scare, I can't help but come back to games like Five Nights at Freddy's and many other indie horror games that I loved growing up. And while those games are great in their own right, there's definitely a good way to do jump scares. And I would really like to discuss that with some examples of horror games that I think do jump scares well. Nowadays, jump scares are commonplace in horror games. They're simple, scary, sometimes, and they're just really common. But I've noticed that in some of the more innovative and creative horror games, they've always put a twist on it and always make it better. So today I'm going to touch up on some of the games that I think have good jump scares, or maybe even just good scares in general. So, with that all being said, welcome to the Beauty of Jumpscares. Woke up on your side of a bed. Now, I know what you're gonna say, this game is a baby game, and it's not very scary, and yes, Five Nights at Freddy's isn't very scary anymore, but at the time, this was genius. It was such a simple format that gave the players so little control. That was scary. You were powerless to stop the animatronics, so when the clock struck 6 a.m., you felt this wave of relief, and when you got jump scared, you genuinely felt scared. And it's not really the jump scare that got you, it was the build-up, the tension, and then bam, there's fucking Bonnie or whatever. FNAF was really my introduction to horror games. So, maybe I'm just wearing my nostalgia goggles, but you know what, whatever. I like the game, I still like the game as a whole, the lore is interesting, shut the fuck up. It's my video, I'll like FNAF if I want to. Now, Phasmophobia doesn't really have jump scares, and that's the beauty of it. It's the same case as FNAF, and you'll see this as a trend across these games, or, at least the really good ones. Less is more. You don't need a loud scream and a flashy object on the screen. You just need tension. Tension is the key to all scares, and the tension in this game, the beautiful tension, it is amazing. The scares are there even if you don't ever see the ghosts, even if you don't know what the fuck you're doing in the game. It's scary. I don't know what else to say. Horror games are scary, okay? Who would have guessed it? I've been talking to the man sitting on my left shoulder. He said everything just gets worse when you're older. Pull ups to the function, I can't even function. I don't know nothing, I don't know nothing. Now, this game's been going around for a little bit, and by the time this video comes out, it's probably either already dead, or it's popped off entirely. But I think that it looks really cool so far, and I hope it gets popular when it fully comes out. But, basically, tall women scary, demons scary, sacrifice goating is fun, and the tension is still the key to the scare. In this game, the main objective is to sacrifice goats to save your friend/leader of the cult you're a part of. And every time you sacrifice a goat, she gets aggravated. So you're left balancing the risk and reward of progressing the game, but losing all the progress you've made. The game is pretty slow burn in horror game standards, and it's honestly a pretty big strategy thing, with you being able to stockpile supplies, but as soon as you catch a goat, you have to sacrifice it or hold on to it for the rest of the game. I think it would be really interesting if maybe when you're holding a goat it makes like a lot of noise, so maybe more demons spawn around you than usual, or maybe you have a limit to how long you can hold the goat. I don't know, just some food for thought. I think this game has a lot of potential going forward, and I hope that it, gets popular. I'd say Resident Evil is kind of the most popular mainstream AAA horror game, and for good reason. The games are fucking amazing. I'm still waiting for them to remake the first game, but hey, we're getting Village soon, and I'm probably not going to buy it until later in the year, but I'm excited to watch a Let's Play on it as soon as it comes out. But how are the game's scares? Well, I'd say they're pretty good. The games are a survival horror game usually, So your resources are important, and usually when the game gives you a lot of pistol ammo or a brand new gun, there's about to be a boss fight. Now, this isn't always the case, and I'd love to run through every single Resident Evil game, but, unpopular opinion, Resident Evil Biohazard is one of the best Resident Evil games in recent years. It was the first shift to first person, so there's even more tension with you not knowing what's around you at all times, and the game loves to throw curveballs at the player, usually giving you a new weapon where you'd expect a boss fight, but then there's nothing. Except for the chainsaw and when you get your first gun, I think. I don't know, I played the game like last year, and I just remember getting the shotgun and expecting a boss fight. Shut up.
I still see shadows in my room. Can't take back the love that I gave you. And it's to the point where I love and I hate you, and I cannot change you, so I must replace you, yeah. Easier said than done. I thought you were the one listening to my heart instead of my head. You found another one, but I am the better one. I won't let you forget me.
Slender. Slender was the first popular indie horror game and started a wave of 13-year-old girls who simp for fictional psychopaths instead of real ones, so improvement, I guess. Basically, the game blew the fuck up because YouTubers play scary game. I don't really know. It can still be scary, and the scares are usually kind of outdated in it. And, it's a great thing to look back on. It's kind of like the great revolution of video games. It really went against the form. It did something new, which is always awesome, but I've seen the jump scare over 100 times and probably 1,000 more editing this video, so it's just not as scary, but that's normal. Horror games don't really have that longevity that other games do. People wonder why so many slasher movies came out in the 70s and 80s and 90s, and while most people say it's a cash grab that, shouldn't have happened and, all of that, I say it was really needed. There was a market for it, and horror just doesn't have longevity. Maybe that's the deep philosophical message for this story. I don't fucking know. I hope you guys liked the video. Subscribe, like, share, all that shit. Bye-bye. I've been doing those musical bits throughout the video, so, yeah. Here's an explanation why. I'm really fucking bored. And I was listening to Quadeca's new album recently. Go stream that, by the way. That album slaps. And also go stream one of my newer songs on SoundCloud, Walking. And maybe when this video comes out, another one will be out, which I'm not going to disclose the name of, because if it's not out, that'd be kind of weird. So yeah, go follow me on SoundCloud. Guys, go peep my mixtape. The link's in the description. Peace out. I didn't hit the pause, whatever, fuck it.